Bleep, blop, bloop. Hello, everyone. If there were one person here, that would work. Everyone would just be the one person. Be perfect. This is a little, just so you get a sense of my setup. There's like one ring light over here, and then this is some little Ulanzi thing I bought online, which I use mostly for, let's make sure people can hear me here, yes, which I use mostly for stand-up comedy. You can kind of mount it to a little tripod, because the open mics I do, they're at this super shitty little club that has really terrible lighting. It's like blue, it's purple almost. It's like this room. It's worse than this room, right? So it doesn't show up very good for when I'm trying to make videos from it. So I have to bring my own lighting. So anyways, I'm also using this for this little show. It's, I don't even know if it's still working. That looks kind of dead, huh? The batteries are a little dead, I think. But I'm reflecting it off of my blinds. Okay? I got some blinds over here. It's just like right in front of me over here. There's a window like 2 feet from my face. And I'm just trying to reflect it off of the blinds. What the hell? I think this thing's dead. It's actually normally super bright. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, that thing is dying. Need to put new batteries in it. But it's supposed to reflect some light onto this side of my face. Unfortunately, this show, my face is just going to look like the moon. Has a dark side to it and a bright side. Okay. A little bit tired today, so we'll wrap it up quick just to do a quick one. Most of my day was spent filming a sketch for Instagram, TikTok. I like to do these little videos every day. I've been trying to do little videos, short videos every day. And usually you want to kind of fire them off as quickly as possible. Just record it and just edit it if you can. Sometimes it takes me a couple hours to edit the videos actually, but edit it as quick as you can and post it. The ones that are like, it's easy if you're just like, oh, I have something to say about a news thing, like let's do a quick take, I'll do my take on whatever it is. Those are relatively easy. What's harder is when you have like a whole ass sketch, like you wrote a comedy bit, and like there's like in this particular one, I'm dressed up in a doctor's uniform, or what is that even called, the white robe thing. Shows you how far I am from being a doctor. I don't even know what the jacket, the doctor's jacket, right? Sorry, there's notifications popping up on my screen saying something about hand gestures. I think that's something where when you do thumbs up and stuff, they do a little reaction thing on the screen. Give me one sec though. I don't know where the chat is at. I had a little chat window and it's gone now. It existed at one point though. We'll have to look into that. Okay. But in any case, I brought a doctor's coat with me. I have one from Halloween from a couple of years ago. So I brought that in the stethoscope thing. It was just sitting in my car. And whenever I had breaks at work, I was running in between my car, smuggling in this doctor's jacket so that no one thought I was impersonating a doctor on the job. Like, there would probably be a lot of questions, right? So, and then basically filming this sketch when I was alone in the office. So that took a long time because the lighting was really bad in there. I couldn't get it all together. Anyways, let's sort of start this show. Live from a studio apartment, this is Misinformation. All right, we'll pull up some screen capture stuff here. Got some tabs open. I have some notes though too. So let's see what's going on. Big things from today. Let me see if I have the thing here. Government still shut down.
I sent one little caveat. I will only meet if they let the country open. They have to let the country open. The people want to go back to work. They want to be served. They need the services of some people. And a lot of people need the money, the payroll. So I'll do it as soon as they open up the country. I'd like to meet.
So you want me to
Interesting from Trump. I like this. So, I mean, big news of the day. I mean, the government shutdown is still going on. I've seen a lot of videos separately of people on TikTok, I guess. I can't tell if that's related. So there's people on TikTok who have all these videos. I guess they're getting food stamps. There are people with like 3 or 4 kids or whatever, and they're complaining about their benefits being cut, which I tried to look it up. I couldn't tell if that's like an ongoing thing from Trump where he's just planning on cutting those benefits as part of the big beautiful bill thing, or if that is referring to the government shutdown and the food stamps potentially being halted in November. I think it is part of a larger Trump cut, though, to them, as far as I could tell. But in any case, I think I have a couple of videos pulled up here.
60 hours a week so I can pay dollars. Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350.
Bummer.
Now, what am I supposed to do? Huh? So I literally just got this piece of mail today.
What would you do to
saying
get
that
money?
Due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all this shit, whatever, that all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there. Now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids.
He got it. He stumbled upon the answer somehow. There is another option. And I get it. I mean, you got a bunch of kids, but how do people even get on these food stamps? You tell me this guy is not working at all, and he's like a stay-at-home dad with 5 kids, and he's just getting benefits? Like, how does he survive even outside of the benefits? I don't get it.
Okay, I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills. I just really don't understand. I voted for him this last election.
I also don't. These videos of the people complaining about getting their food stamps cut are so dumb that it makes me think they might be staged. So I'm still unclear on if they're staged or not. But in any case, interesting take from Trump, I just thought, just laying down the negotiation as I will meet to discuss, the bill that was holding up the government shutdown, but I want the government open first. They have to open up the government. So it's sort of an interesting gambit, an interesting starting off. I think that's what everyone wants, right? That's what this guy wants. Anybody who gets benefits is for the government to be reopened. So Trump coming up with that opening offer is kind of interesting because it sort of then puts the ball back in the Democrats' court. Well, are you going to open the country or not so that we can meet to discuss? Another big piece. I mean, there's a bunch of, I guess Trump is demolishing part of the east wing of the White House to begin construction on his ballroom, which, and there's, the liberals are complaining he's destroying the White House. I did see, apparently there were other times, though, in recent administrations where the other administrations have done work on the White House or construction even on different parts of it. That's not one of the main parts of the White House. It's off to the side a little bit. And Trump's ballroom sounds bomb, frankly. I'm shocked that thing didn't have a ballroom already. One thing is when you see pictures of the interior of like the Oval Office, that he's sort of, have you guys seen pictures of that, how he's kind of Trumpified it? It's all like, it's literally like exactly what you'd think with Trump. It was just bland and old before, and now it's like completely filled with gold. Like just straight up Trump, right? But it looks great. To me, it looks great. And that is when, if that's the place where you're having foreign dignitaries come to meet, you want it to look really rich, really expensive, really dignified. So, and having a ballroom just makes sense. So I'm not surprised at that. I think that's much ado about nothing. I don't know. It's kind of a slow news day, so maybe people are trying to dig up some news. One thing that's happening is there's a little bit of doubt about the peace agreement in the Middle East. Just that Hamas keeps violating the terms of the ceasefire, apparently, which, first of all, was totally predictable. Not just because that, Hamas has been fighting forever, but it is predictable that even after signing a peace agreement, there would be some sort of a struggle for power in Gaza, right? And so I believe that's what's happening when they're talking about violating the terms of the ceasefire. I believe it's essentially almost like different factions that are vying for power in Gaza at the moment. And so Hamas is trying to reassert themselves as the dominant force. And apparently they're murdering civilians, which is not good. J.D. Vance is apparently in the Middle East currently trying to work on this and the peace deal, which is interesting. You had Trump saying some interesting things where he's basically threatening Hamas and saying, if you don't stop, we're going to kill you. What are the odds of American boots being put on the ground in Gaza to fight Hamas? I would say near zero. So I'm not too concerned about us actually following through on that threat. It does seem like I wouldn't necessarily call it a bluff. I do believe that Trump is currently using a little bit of his perceived power. Countries around the world are seeing him blow up these Venezuelan drug trafficking boats. So he's kind of showing that he's not afraid to use U.S. military might lethally when needed. So I think that gives him a little bit of an ability to kind of talk tough. And if you're Hamas leadership, it probably is weighing on you. Like, I wouldn't blow that off. No pun intended. I would take that pretty seriously. One thing that he floated out there that I thought was a really effective thing to say, I think he said this today, was that if they don't stop violating the terms of the ceasefire, he has all of the other Muslim Middle Eastern countries ready to step in and destroy Hamas. So I think framing it that way, as we're not going to come in and kill you, but all of your old allies who have now turned against you and are working with me will come in and handle things. So it's sort of handle things amongst yourselves, either stop fighting or I'm going to coordinate something to stop it. So I think that's a pretty effective negotiating tactic. I don't know what J.D. Vance is doing out in the Middle East specifically, but be interesting to see how that works out. Other stuff from today. This was just a funny tweet from Dasha about the Zohran Mandami. He was an old photo resurfaced of him, a couple of them. He's eating a burrito on the train and he's eating rice with his hands. And Dasha points out, burrito with the fork and knife and biryani with the hand dunked in. Which is a funny way to put it. Complete opposites, right? He lives in an opposites world. Sort of funny. This was a funny tweet. Apparently there are some UK travel influencers that decided to make a series traveling across the United States. And their first stop was Portland. How do y'all think that went? Apparently their first night there, they heard a shooting and decided to immediately leave Portland. And we're asking people, hey, if there's any other cities this bad, let us know so we don't stop in those ones. So it's pretty funny. To be expected from Portland. Let's go to this one. So this was interesting. There's an influencer who I follow, actually. I forget her last name right now. It's Savannah is her name. Oh, here she is. Savannah Hernandez. And she had a video that went viral earlier this week where she was walking through Canal Street in New York, I guess in Chinatown, Canal Street is like one of those areas you see in big cities sometimes where there's just a bunch of street vendors and it's kind of shady, and they don't take kindly to people filming them there, right? Because in this case, it was a bunch of illegal immigrants that were selling what are probably counterfeit or stolen merchandise on the streets. You know, these are the guys that lay out the big tarps with like Nikes on them, or purses, or clothes. You see a little bit of it in San Diego, actually. There's like a couple guys that do that. But they lay it all out on tarps so that if they have to leave very quickly, they just kind of wrap it all up, or they have it on strings. They pull everything. It sort of cinches everything together, and they just bolt, right? They throw it in a wagon and they go. So she was walking through there a couple days ago, was filming and commenting on it. And I guess a bunch of the people talked to her and admitted they were illegal immigrants, and so and then some people were threatening her, saying that she couldn't film there, so she was posting all that online. Well, apparently ICE saw that viral video, because a couple days later they ended up raiding Canal Street, and I guess taking into custody, arresting a bunch of illegal immigrants. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, she is essentially solely responsible for getting all of these Canal Street immigrants apprehended, which is crazy to me. I kind of agree with her, but I'm like, man, that is impressive levels of narc right there. That is hardcore narc. I don't know if I could have done it, frankly. I mean, I don't like illegal immigration. I do believe we need to deport, but that is some straight up narc in there. She went right up in there and narked him out hard. It's kind of funny. I forgive her, though, because she's hot. Dear God. Get off of her, Tucker. And then in this video, this one thing I will say, so apparently when they tried to go in there, they were making arrests, but they were surrounded by a bunch of New Yorkers who immediately like hopped on them and started, you can see later in the video, as they're trying to make arrests. See, it's sort of right here. They're trying to make an arrest. I guess one of the guys was in front of them. Who's this bitch? What's she doing getting all up in there and trying to free this guy? That's stuff I don't like. So, I don't mind the protesting. You know, obviously people should be allowed to protest. But surrounding federal agents when they're trying to carry out a law enforcement activity is kind of wild. So I almost feel like, I mean, I wish there were like National Guards, more people on the ground there with these ICE agents, because I feel like if you're getting swarmed by this big, what's essentially borderline, I mean, this isn't look too bad here, but they are interfering with their work. They're putting them in danger, and particularly when they're putting hands on them and trying to interrupt arrests and stuff like that. They should have more backup, I feel like, because things go south and that crowd could immediately assault them. So, I just don't understand why you're not sending a bunch of people and just crack shot at that bullshit. They shouldn't be allowed to surround these agents. She's over here. So crazy. This is just a weird video. Apparently there was some guy, and this was like a trending news story on Twitter. There was a guy who says he was attacked over nothing at a parking garage in Atlanta. The guy who was attacked is in this black car, I guess this red Corvette. Stops, they like almost hit each other for a second.
Surveillance cameras show a red Corvette.
The story is
that,
whoa. I mean, you can see he got pretty beat up here. This is just such a weird story. He blocks it so I can't go any further. He gets out of his car. So he says, okay, the black guy gets out of his car. He's the white guy gets out of his car. They oddly cut the footage here. So we don't see why, like, how does this black dude morph over here? What happened in between those things? I know black people will be wondering if he said the N-word. I'm wondering about this guy's story if he didn't talk some shit. Not the N-word, but I'm wondering if he didn't talk some shit or do something before this. But maybe he didn't. I don't know. They cut the video, though. It's weird. This is unfortunate to watch. I mean, my first reaction is like, look, bro, I know you're a nerd. I can see that. But, I mean, don't just turn your butt to him and... Like,
Michael
what is
wasted
this
no time
defense,
physical,
dear
landing several
God?
punches before kicking him to the
He
ground.
turns his butt
Honestly,
to
just get
him.
away from me. Go home. I said
And then
that
the
several
guy's
times.
like
Just
leaving
go.
at some
Just go.
point, and
He says
the
the man
weird thing is
started
he
to walk
gets
away, but
up
turned
and
back
tries
after
to.
seeing Thompson reach for his
That's
phone to call
unfortunate. An
911.
unfortunate
That's
front
when
kick.
he says the attack escalated.
Guy's pretty much
Thompson
leaving. He tries to
blacked out.
reassert
When he
himself
came to,
here.
the
He gets his
suspect
phone
had smashed
smashed,
his
and now he's
phone,
still
making it
standing there.
impossible to call for help.
I can't
And he
process
gets
that.
beat up again.
I couldn't.
Unbelievable.
I just couldn't
If
think
you
of
can't fight, just
being able to get that angry
walk
over.
away. Don't
Nothing.
just
Tonight, Sandy Springs
don't be
police
moving
confirmed
forward
they've
like
issued
that.
arrest
Dear
warrants for
God.
the suspect.
I just want him to catch him so he
So,
doesn't
I
do it
don't
to
know.
somebody else.
Maybe one of the saddest beatings I've ever seen because of the butt turn. This is Zohran, the communist, soon-to-be mayor of New York, saying that federal agents from ICE summoned military fatigues and masks, descended on Chinatown today in an aggressive and reckless raid on immigrant street vendors, innocently eating rice with their hands. This is always some bullshit that the Democrats do. They like to point out whenever they were in military fatigues and masks, maybe fascism. I mean, every chance they get, they try to frame something as being more than it is. You know, it's not the military. I actually did just advocate for sending in the military to protect the ICE agents, the National Guard. But yeah, it's not a takeover. It's literally, this is what people voted for, is to deport illegal immigrants and close the border. So, again, I don't understand this sentiment that individual cities can decide they don't want that and all the people can just rise up and stop the ICE agents from doing that. Like, it's ridiculous. Authoritarian theatrics, again, trying to link Trump with authoritarianism. It's too big a word, unfortunately. Maybe it'll catch on, but I don't think so. Went through that, went through this. I think we'll pretty much wrap it up now. This was a shorter one, and I got to get to sleep soon. So, again, just testing some stuff out. Theoretically, shall get better as we go along here. But yeah, everyone.